like, don't get disheartened. I applied to 100 of positions and I heard back from 20 or so and got offer from two or three. To code it, just I have to tell approach, and he was satisfied with that. But beside that, they ask you many things about STLC.
So a lot of times I get a request that how can we apply for positions abroad? How can we apply for internships as well as full-time roles abroad? So there's a special opening that is there by JP Morgan and Chase that is currently open for different locations across UK. And I have with me in this video Tiya Bansal, who got this internship last year. So we'll talk with her regarding her experience. How did she apply? How did she get a call? All your doubts and queries related to this particular internship related to JP Morgan and Chase we'll talk about in this particular video. Before starting this video, I would like to have a brief introduction of Tiya.
Yeah, so hi everyone. First of all, thanks for having me here, Ash. It's very nice talking to you and addressing everyone's doubts. Even I was getting a lot of requests, so this is nice that we're doing this podcast. About me, so I'm currently a final year student. I'm studying in Triple IT Lucknow. I've interned at JP Morgan Bournemouth as a software engineer intern, and I've also interned as a technical writer at Scalar. So I had like under 500 rank in Google CodeGem as well, and yeah, that's about me.
Great. So if I talk about how did your coding journey start? मतलब कब start हुई? Was it कि you were very aware of things, you started very early and like you are getting those benefits, or how did exactly this journey of you started?
Yeah, so as I'm like 2020 batch, right? Like my college started in 2020, so it was like completely online. COVID में start हुआ था, and then we spent like almost 2 years online. So at that time, I was just like seniors just told us that do CP and have some nice coding profile. So just it wasn't like much, just giving contest on CodeChef or Codeforces. I haven't like explored anything. Only few things like Google Step internships and Flipkart secondary internship. Didn't did anything like very focusedly, just doing some data structures and all that. But then our college opened when it was like beginning of third year, I guess. Almost beginning of third year, I guess, or in the mid, and then we have to like immediately start preparing for the summer internships. So I started like studying about data structure, and also I had few projects as well. And I studied. We had those computer fundamental subjects, like all which are very necessary for interviews. So in that semester only. So had a good grasp of those as well. And yeah, I like started applying. I applied to so many companies. Literally applied even for abroad internships for here as well, and I got calls from almost 15 or more companies. So and yeah, and then I got offers from two and three.
Great. तो मतलब जनरली सिनेरियो ऐसा होता है कि स्टूडेंट्स ये इंटर्नशिप वाला फेज इज लाइक वेरी फ्यू कंपनीज हायर एंड वेरी few roles are few numbers are there for which they hire, right? But getting an
Yeah.
internship for a company such as JPMC, that too for one of the foreign locations, right? So first of all, how did you get to know about it? मतलब कैसे पता चला कि इंटर्नशिप ओपनिंग है ऐसे JPMC में? When did you apply?
Yeah.
And how was the process thereafter?
Yeah, so as I told, right, I was applying everywhere. So I just like hired a list of possible companies I was like going to apply for. Like before this, I didn't have in mind like I want to intern at JP Morgan. Like I just know that these are good companies, and these are like possible list. I want to like be a part with. I mean, it will be a very good learning opportunity if I get in these companies. So I just like go on LinkedIn of those companies. I just go to the job section, and whenever there is opening, there is always so LinkedIn is a great platform for this. Whenever there is an opening for any company, when they put it on their career site, they also put it on LinkedIn, so
Hmm.
you get to see all the open roles on LinkedIn. So I was just applying everywhere because even when I was getting interviews like multiple, I was getting ghosted and I was not hearing back. So I had my Google interview. I was like ghosted for 3 months. And even Flipkart, I got the interview from Grid and they also ghosted me for 3 weeks. So it was like very disheartening at that time. So I
Mhm.
just like applied everywhere. Even for JP Morgan, I applied for 6 locations and I heard back from this one. So yeah, one message from this that don't be disheartened. You have to like keep applying. But yeah, but before applying, always check the job description very carefully.
Mhm.
So yeah, this job description was saying that they will sponsor visa. So yeah, I applied for this and yeah, from career site only.
वीडियो में आगे चलने से पहले इफ यू आर प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर गेट 2024, अगर तुम गेट 2024 के लिए प्रिपेयर कर तो देयर इज अ स्पेशल स्कॉलरशिप टेस्ट जिसको देके तुम अपनी रजिस्ट्रेशन फी फॉर गेट फ्री कर सकते हो। इसके अलावा काफी सारी स्कॉलरशिप भी जीत सकते हो। तो लेट मी शो यू व्हाट दिस पर्टिकुलर टेस्ट इज ऑल अबाउट। सो टेस्ट इज गेट रेडी कॉम्बैट बीइंग कंडक्टेड बाय अनअकैडमी। अनअकैडमी ये टेस्ट कंडक्ट करवा रही है फॉर ऑल द गेट एस्पिरेंट्स। अगर तुम एक गेट एस्पिरेंट हो तुम इस टेस्ट को दे सकते हो। 1000 टॉप रैंकर्स जो इस टेस्ट के होने वाले हैं उनकी गेट की रजिस्ट्रेशन फीस बिल्कुल जीरो होने वाली है। मतलब अनअकैडमी पूरी की पूरी फीस तुम्हारी स्पॉन्सर कर देगी अगर इस टेस्ट को तुम पास करोगे एंड यू विल बी इन द टॉप 100। इसके अलावा 100% स्कॉलरशिप तक तुम्हें मिल सकती है एंड काफी सारे अमेजिंग प्राइजेस बीट एप्पल मैकबुक आईफोन या फिर फोन्स एंड JBL के स्पीकर्स भी मिल सकते हैं। जाके चेक करते हैं कि हाउ यू कैन रजिस्टर फॉर द सेम। नीचे डिस्क्रिप्शन में तुम्हें एक लिंक मिलेगा जहां से जाके तुम फ्री में रजिस्टर कर सकते हो। तुम्हें एक कोड यूज करना है दैट इज अर्श_गोयल। जैसे तुम ये कोड यूज करोगे यू कैन रजिस्टर फॉर दिस पर्टिकुलर टेस्ट कंप्लीटली फॉर फ्री। ये तुम्हारे सामने पोर्टल खुलेगा, यहाँ पे जाके तुम्हें एनरोल नाउ पे क्लिक करना है। वंस यू क्लिक ऑन एनरोल नाउ बटन यू विल बी रीडायरेक्टेड टू ऑल दीज कॉम्बैट्स हैपनिंग। मतलब ये हर ब्रांच के लिए हो रहे होंगे, कंप्यूटर साइंस, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स, IT, मैकेनिकल, तो सिविल, सब ब्रांचेस के लिए हो रहे होंगे। उसके लिंक्स तुम्हें नीचे डिस्क्रिप्शन में मिल जाएंगे। वंस यू क्लिक ऑन दिस व्यू डिटेल्स राइट, तुम्हें यहाँ पे मिल जाएगा कि टॉप 200 रैंकर्स को 100% रिफंड ऑफ रजिस्ट्रेशन फीस। रैंक 1 को मैकबुक एयर मिल रहा होगा अलॉन्ग विद 100% स्कॉलरशिप ऑन अनअकैडमी का कोर्स तुम फ्री में कर सकते हो। iPad मिल रहा होगा सेकंड रैंकर को, थर्ड रैंकर को डेल का लैपटॉप, फोर्थ रैंकर को सैमसंग का मोबाइल, फिफ्थ रैंकर को JBL का स्पीकर एंड उसके अलावा भी काफी सारे अच्छे रिवॉर्ड्स हैं। तुम्हें जस्ट जाके यहाँ पे एनरोल क्लिक करना है। ये टेस्ट तुम्हें देना है, 45 मिनट्स का टेस्ट होने वाला है। 20 एप्टीट्यूड क्वेश्चंस आने वाले हैं इस टेस्ट में, जनरल एप्टीट्यूड एंड इंजीनियरिंग मैथमेटिक्स। दिस इज द सिलेबस। ये क्लियर करके यू कैन गेट ऑल दीज बेनिफिट्स। सो व्हाट आर यू वेटिंग फॉर? जल्दी से जाकर रजिस्टर करो। लिंक तुम्हें डिस्क्रिप्शन में मिल जाएगा। यूज करना कोड अर्श_गोयल टू रजिस्टर फॉर इट फॉर फ्री। जितना जल्दी करोगे उतना बेटर है।
Without referral.
So you applied through careers portal without referral, क्योंकि generally आजकल the scenario is like there are a lot of people applying for one single position and people are saying कि we are not getting replies. तो आपको हर किसी opening का reply नहीं आएगा. It's just that you
Yep.
like apply for let's say 50, you might be lucky enough
Yep.
2 or 3, right? So this
Yep.
is the ratio that currently works and there's a lot of, you can say, luck factor would also play into picture because resume सबने अच्छा बना लिया. Resume is like, it's like
Yeah.
it might or might not depend upon your resume because everyone has a very good resume. You have good profile, you have projects, everything is good, but it all boils down to how active you are, how aware you are of things, and
Yeah.
the more places you apply, right? That's what would make a difference and ultimately land you to such a position. चलो आगे, लाइक लेट्स से यू अप्लाइड फॉर द सेम, राइट? कितने टाइम बाद आपको मतलब उसका ऑनलाइन असेसमेंट हुआ था या डायरेक्ट इंटरव्यूज थे? कितने टाइम बाद यू गॉट टू नो अबाउट द ऑनलाइन असेसमेंट एंड व्हाट वाज कवर्ड इन दैट ऑनलाइन असेसमेंट? अगर किसी को ऑनलाइन असेसमेंट आता है फॉर JPMC का इंटर्न, तो क्या एक्सपेक्ट कर सकता है ऑनलाइन असेसमेंट में? किस टाइप के क्वेश्चंस, किस लेवल के क्वेश्चंस एंड मोर अबाउट ऑनलाइन असेसमेंट?
Yeah, so about application, right? So I think as soon as the opening was there, I applied within a week or two only because I had this thing in my mind of rolling basis, and it is true actually. So I applied as soon as possible, and the online assessment for JP Morgan application, it comes immediately as you apply. As soon as you apply, you will get a hacker or online assessment, and I think it will be active for a week or so. You can check it, but I'll again advise to just do that online assessment as soon as you receive it, well, because it's just two programming questions for me. Maybe it can be different because I heard some people were getting a higher view video interview as well. I didn't have that. So yeah. you can get hired with video interview as well. But I only had Hacker Earth online assessment, and there were like two easy to medium lead code programming questions, mostly implementation based. Yeah.
Understood, understood. तो मतलब जो टेस्ट का लेवल था, it was easy to medium as per you, and you said now people might be
Yep.
getting higher view का link. So मतलब जिसको नहीं पता है, higher
Yeah.
view is basically an automated interview taking platform. Interview में जैसे
Yep.
they have some specific questions, 4 to 5 questions आएंगे, and you need to sit in front of the camera. They will shoot your video on how you will answer, and it would ultimately be checked by AI. तो उनका AI बेस्ड मॉडल है जिसके बेसिस पे तुम्हें स्कोर किया जाएगा, एंड उसके बाद तुम्हें नेक्स्ट, मतलब दिस इज नॉट द प्रोसेस ओनली फॉर JPMC, बट काफी सारी कंपनीज
Yeah.
हायर व्यू का राउंड सेंड करती हैं टू मेनी ऑफ द कैंडिडेट्स फॉर मे बी स्क्रीनिंग some better candidates. तो this was about हायर व्यू. मतलब अगर तुम्हें इस कंपनी के लिए या नेक्स्ट कंपनी के लिए हायर व्यू का राउंड होता है, सो यू शुड बी कंफर्टेबल इनफ कि यार पता होना चाहिए एग्जैक्टली व्हाट दे कैन आस्क, राइट? मतलब once you were done with your online assessment, right, after how much time did you hear back from the company? And interviews were scheduled, right? So how many rounds of interviews and what was covered in those interviews?
Yeah, so I think I wasn't expecting an interview to be honest, because I was just like applying randomly, and it that too for an international location. I just like I saw an email. It was I mean, like you, for any other company, you see like a very detailed email you get. I mean, you can ignore that as well, because for other companies get a very detailed email for interview scheduling. They put resources and all the links, but it was just a Zoom code. I mean, your interviews are scheduled back to back, and a Zoom code. And then I was like, for real? Then I reached out to the recruiter, and he said, yeah, your interview is scheduled. So I think I heard back in a week or 2 weeks. Yeah, I think in under 2 weeks. Yeah, in 2 weeks I got that email of interview code.
Okay. And if we talk about exactly interviews, right? So how many number of rounds of
Yep.
those interviews, and what was exactly the major focus in those interviews? Were they similar to what companies in India conduct? The type of interviews, was it same, or there was something different, something that you would want to share?
Yeah, it wasn't too different. So I had one behavioral interview and one technical. Behavioral was first and technical was later. So the first thing I did is I reached out to past interns
Mm.
immediately on LinkedIn, because again I have the same question, like what will they ask? So this was the first thing I did. I reached out to all the past interns on LinkedIn, because there wasn't like any as such interview experience on Google. So I reached out to interns, and also like the new grad software engineers working there, like what their interview experience is like. So they told me, and yeah, it was like then similar for me. So for behavioral interview, I'll think that that was like the most tough behavioral interview I had, because they discuss everything that's on your resume, literally everything. So I told you in my intro, right, that I had Google Code Gem under 500 rank. So I had this mentioned on my resume. So they asked me a question like, okay, so I can see this is on your resume. If you can recall about this competition, what did you learn from this, and what was the challenge faced during this contest, and how did you solve it, or what was the learning from that as well? And you can see like that was in 2021, and I was interviewing in 2022 October. So even whatever you mention on a resume, you should be like knowing everything about that. It
Understood.
depends on interviewer as well, but yeah, that was the case with me. The behavioral interview I had like I guess more than 15 questions. So it was like not just another behavioral interview. It was like very tough, I'll say, because you have to be like you have to follow properly the star pattern. Everything should be like and be honest as well. So
Mm.
yeah,
So how long was this behavioral?
and I think 1 hour at 45 minutes to 1 hour. Yeah.
Understood. And after that, you had your technical round. So what was the major thing that was
Yeah.
highlighted in the technical round?
Yeah, so in technical round, so here we have like in technical round just DS questions, right? But there again, we had like project discussion and few behavioral questions, like one or two, not so much. And then there was just one DSA question. The DSA question was, I'll say, easy to medium again. I didn't even have to code it, just I have to tell approach, and he was satisfied with that. But beside that, they ask you many things about SDLC, that is software development lifecycle, and maybe you can ask about CI/CD as well, basics, and get version control, or you can be asked about core subjects very thoroughly. Object-oriented programming. I had like around 20 minutes discussion on object-oriented programming only, and DBMS, OS, uh, how I mean, and basic things about as a computer science student, like how a client-server architecture works, or even cybersecurity. But yeah, you don't have to know everything. They'll ask you multiple things, but you don't have to know everything. Even if you like know 80% or more things. I mean, that obviously increases your scores if you know everything. But just because you don't know one single question, it's not like you'll get rejected, because there was like one single question which I couldn't answer, but I answered all the others. So my interview was still like very nice. So you don't have to like know everything. I mean, be confident.
Understood.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like somewhat similar to Indian companies. Majorly, if here the major
Yeah.
focus is on data structural algorithms, yeah, I would say if they are conducting two rounds, so they will
Yeah.
have DSA in both of them. But yeah, I've heard of not only JPMC, but if we talk about different locations, be it for Amazon, most I would say significant part of the interviews is the behavioral questions for Dublin, for Luxembourg, all these locations in Amazon.
Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah.
So now you were done with the process, right? And after that, like JPMC sponsors visa for students for this internship for
Yep.
this role, and currently also
Yep.
there are openings for this role for which you can check out the link in description. I'll post it up. You can go and apply as well if you feel you are eligible. Currently, if you're in your second year, I believe, and if you're in your third year, batch of 2025, 2026 would be eligible for the same. So you can maybe go and check out and use all these resources, whatsoever we're discussing in this video, to better prepare your application and maybe get to that position. Great. So how was your overall experience? Matlab, you went to UK, right? So how was your
Yep.
overall experience of the internship, and just something that you would like to share?
Yeah, so I'm the first generation kid in my family to actually like go abroad and work. So it was like a completely different experience. No one in my family even like had experience, or they can like guide me about anything. So I did like everything, all preps. And yeah, then just all by myself in a foreign land. But yeah, it was like very amazing, because from the first day itself, it was very nice. The company, they'll make you feel like at home, and they have like so many events organized for you here and now. I mean, you just don't be there with your team and just work on a project. You learn so many things, so many, and you can like even join any club. Even in 2 months, you don't have like any restrictions or so. You can explore as many things as you want in the company. And maybe some may have doubt like it's a bank, or it will be more inclined toward finance, but that's not the thing. JP Morgan have like all the fields: quantum computing, AI, machine learning, everything. So yeah, you can like explore whatever you want, but the time is like really less. But yeah, it's very nice.
Great. And do you have any more info about, like, is it only for summer internship, or they do hire for 6 months internship and full-time roles directly from India?
They do hire for full time role. I think it's in the off cycle one. They'll be opening soon, the off cycle one. But for 6 months, I don't think they do. They have like other internships which are only for people residing in UK.
Understood. Understood. Great, great, Tia. Thank you so much. I believe this video would be very, very helpful for people who are preparing for the same, who are applying for this internship this year. Any final piece of advice that you would like to have for people who are aspiring to get this internship this year?
I'll just say, I mean, I'll repeat what I said earlier, like, don't get disheartened. I applied to 100 of positions and I heard back from 20 or so and got offer from two or three. So yeah, that's the ratio. And what you need is just one. So JP Morgan was my first, which I got, and that was like on the day of Diwali. But yeah, I was like very happy when I heard back from them, and they announced it on the same day. So yeah, but leaving that, don't get disheartened. Prepare everything. Don't just focus on doing lead code or have some good projects, like at least two projects which you can talk about in the interview, because in every interview, be it JP Morgan or any other, even in India as well, people have like a very nice discussion about projects. So your project should be like something you can talk about at least 15 or 20 minutes. So yeah, that's it.
Great, great, great. Thank you so much, Tia, for coming here, sharing your journey. I believe this would be very, very helpful. Tia also has a Twitter channel where she keeps on putting content, maybe related to software engineering or stuff like that. If you want to go, you can check out. If you want to interact or have some doubts, some more doubts, you can ping in the comments below. I'll try to answer as much as possible. Right. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening to this. And I hope this would be very helpful. See you in some other video. Till then, all the best. Good luck and bye.